Hello, and we are live with episode 9 of Beyond the Finish Line. You are talking to Georgia and Matt. Hey, Matt, how you going?
Good, mate. Self?
Good. Are you so proud of me for saying that it was episode 9?
Well, I don't. Did we tell them that I fucked it up?
You fucked it up twice, Matt. There's not just once. It's happened
Yeah, well,
twice. So
yeah,
I've
well,
taken over the reins, and now I say the episodes because he forgets.
they all just merge into one, mate.
They do, they do. That's okay though. But we are episode 9, and as we've been talking about from the start, episode 10 is our goal. So we are one away.
We are 90% of the way to being a top 1% podcast on the planet.
Look, we're top 1% anyway, so I already had faith.
Well, not statistically, but
Nah, look, I think it's awesome. I don't see us stopping anytime soon. We've had such great feedback from everyone.
yeah. And I just got the stats. I get the stats through every Monday morning, and again, another it's just growing. Like, more and more people are listening. We had someone from Lithuania listening, which was really interesting.
Maybe they just like our accents.
Maybe, I don't know if I'm assuming they speak English in Lithuania.
Yeah, probably. Who knows? But
A lot of
hey,
those.
hi to
Yeah.
hi to
Anyway.
whoever's listening from Lithuania. That's really cool.
Yeah. Yeah. Send us a message on Instagram. I've got questions.
He's got questions. We want to know. Tell us why.
Yeah.
I love it. No, it is a pleasure to be here, and I absolutely love doing this every week. Matt just did a funny video because I've had some technical difficulties with the setup every single week for the past 9 episodes. But the funny thing is, guys, is that you kind of can't really work them out until you launch the program that we use to record these. And so it is a bit difficult to troubleshoot prior to getting on the mic with Matt. So he has to just sit there and wait for me to sort my shit out.
Wait, because I send the link to Georgia so she can join, so she can't get on before me. So yeah, I kind of set
Yes.
myself up.
He did. So he really can't complain. He just sits there and watches some reels while I work my shit out. And then we press go on the recording. But that's
Yeah,
okay.
you need to set it up so it's just one button. That's all I do is just one button and everything works.
Yeah, well, we will get there. But hey, the mic is sorted. Last week's episode sounded amazing. I, again, am still a weirdo and I listen to all of our episodes, but I'm here to try and improve us, and Matt's just chilling.
Well,
You don't listen to the
I-
episodes, though.
I don't listen to the episodes, but I spend so much time talking to all of the athletes, and I do a lot of videos. Anyone who's sent a DM to Beyond the Finish Line with a question, they've got a video from me.
I did
So-
notice that the other day. Very
Yeah.
nice.
So I'm refining my skill outside of the podcast.
Yeah, no, I'm only messing with Matt. I don't actually care that he doesn't listen because he edits them. I do the socials. It's a really great team effort.
Yeah, I think so.
I think so too.
It's working at the moment.
It is working. We'll see how we go with this whole setup and if it keeps pissing Matt off every week with the technical difficulties. But hey, we're stepping up in the world. Everyone starts like this with their podcasts.
Yeah, and like I said, we're not even 10 episodes in yet. I think a lot of people, again, it's that what we spoke about earlier with one of the other episodes about delayed gratification, and everyone wants to be,
Good right
I want
away.
to do a marathon in 8 weeks, and be like, well, no, take 20 weeks of training
It does.
if you're lucky.
Yeah.
Same with podcasting.
Yeah.
We're not even halfway through a marathon prep, and we're talking about changing things up.
We
So
just want to do amazing things for you guys. So I
true.
think, we do. We want to be really great for you. So yeah, but in true episode format, Matt, tell me, how was your week? Give me the highs and lows.
yeah, rough week actually.
It's a change for
Just
you.
yeah, the fatigue wall hit, so it's just I describe it as the kind of tired a good night's sleep can't fix, as Georgia Downs a V.
I'm trying to hide it. I'm so tired, guys. That's so ironic.
Yeah, that's the only reason I said. If you had done it any other time, I wouldn't have brought it up.
I was thinking about the how our program works when it cuts the videos up for socials. If Matt is talking on his own, it'll only show video of him. So I was like, oh, this is my chance to quickly have a drink before I need to. Oh my God, stop it. It's the pink V. It's the one that's like, no calories, no sugar.
It's a health drink. Yeah, I get it. It's like a protein shake.
Health and wealth. Sorry, Matt. You're very tired.
Right.
Keep going.
Yeah. It's just that kind of tired that a good night's sleep can't fix, and you kind of feel like you're stuck in slow motion. Like, just no matter how much you try and think or like try and dedicate to work or focus or whatever, you just can't get anything to click.
Yeah.
And it was just that week, and up until Saturday, I just felt absolutely horrendous and couldn't hit I wasn't off my numbers, but like the rate of perceived exertion was just astronomically high.
Yeah.
But then Sunday, it was long run Sunday, and when I say I crushed this run out of nowhere, I woke up feeling, I'm like, oh, fuck, here we go. It's going to be a shit day. Like,
Oh,
Saturday's
that's never
bike,
a good start. Yeah.
Yeah, Saturday's bike was awful, and I was like, I've got to somehow run 24 kilometers today with some race pace stuff. I'm like, I'm just in for a world of hurt. And out of nowhere, I not only crushed the workout, I exceeded all of my times with a lower heart rate than like normal. So I was running 450 Ks with like a 150 heart rate, which is just...
That's incredible.
I couldn't dream for a better run.
Yeah.
And it just crushed it. So don't ask me why, don't ask me how, but I've sort of like bounced. That run dragged me out of the pits. So
you're saying you had a 24K run with some race pace. How did the whole run look? What did you have to do?
5K warm up. So just cruisy. So this is a proof to my madness that this was my first run since Cairns last year. I wore super shoes because I had a good chunk of race pace. Mm-hmm. And so 5K warm up, did it in just like my Nova Blast, and then I had 5, 4, 3, 2, 1K, all at marathon pace, all with a 500 meter float in between.
Yep.
So 15, is it 5, 9, 12, 15Ks at marathon pace.
Was your float an easy, what was the pace? Like, was your float of an easy pace or still a relatively tempo kind of pace?
Like 5:40.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. So still not sitting around, but
yeah. I've noticed that with some of my runs you've been programming me, that the float or the, I guess, quote unquote, the rest in between is actually still quite fast.
Yeah.
And I'm like, shit, there's no break.
Yeah.
Whereas they used to be like really easy. They'd be like proper, almost walking. I just like really zoned to it. But now I'm like, oh God, I still got to run fast.
Dear. It's basically the theory behind it is you're trying to run as fast as you can while still recovering. So it's like you're running at the top of your zone 2, basically, which is enough to clear lactate, enough to get your heart rate back under somewhat control. But then by the time that process kicks in, it's time to go again.
Yeah.
So it's a break, but it's not really a break.
Yeah, it's not a break, guys, at all.
Yeah.
Oh, dear.
You get used to it.
Yeah, you do. It does get easier as it goes on. But look, yeah. Anyway, get on to me soon. What was the low point? Just the Saturday session?
Just the fatigue throughout the whole week. Like,
yeah.
Every session was just a slog, and
yeah.
even the recovery sessions were like brutal.
Yeah, right. And your high was your Sunday, right?
Yeah.
Great session. Nothing better. Doesn't it make you feel good the whole day when you've absolutely crushed a session?
I'm still on a high from it.
Really?
Yeah.
We record on Mondays, guys, so that's a solid 24 hours later. You're feeling good.
28 hours, 21 minutes.
Wow. Okay. Righto. Whoa. Nobody cares, man. I'm in a silly mood, guys. I'm in a silly mood. This should be fun. Matt's rolling his eyes.
Tired Matt and silly Georgia. What could possibly go wrong?
Oh gosh. So great. Sounds like a good
What
week.
are your highs and lows, Georgia? Before you change topic.
Before I accidentally change topic.
Yeah.
My high, I'm going to start with the high. My high was
Mm.
getting a long run in yesterday. That mentally was so good for me. Just to be able to do a long run. I haven't done one in so long. I managed to get a half marathon in, which was a little bit over what Matt had programmed for me, purely because I accidentally miscalculated my run. So that was my own fault. But hey, half marathon, that was kind of fun. It really was good for my head, as I said, to get that long run in and just feel like, okay, yep, I'm back in the swing of things. Things are feeling good. But yeah, I had a really great week kind of training, had run club. Mileage was up there. I was about 50 Ks last week. So that was really good. But then my low kind of came pretty quickly straight towards the end of my long run. I was doing, I think we had a 2K warm up, 3K tempo, and then I might have got this wrong, 2K at like faster than race pace. And then there was like that float in between. But after the first lot of fast pace, I was like, oh, my hip's not feeling great. So I kind of dialed it back a little bit just to see if that was it. And then towards the end of the run, I had to really dial it back because I was about 2K from home and just like in so much pain, having to stop and crouch down just to kind of stretch my hips out and stuff. And I was like, oh, this is not good. And then, I had to jump in the car yesterday for kind of 3 hours to go and pick up my mum. And I think just the combination of sitting still for 3 hours straight after a long run and then a bad hip. So it's not feeling great today. I spoke to my physio and he was kind of like, look, unfortunately, I think you need to go and get a scan. And then that's when I messaged Matt and I said, oh, my physio said this and he thinks I might need to get a scan just to rule out any stress fractures in my hip. So, eek. But yeah, feeling a bit low from that today, but that's okay. We try and stay positive, try not to think about what happens if I get told I have a stress fracture in my hip, because then that, don't know what happens with London then. So we'll see.
Yeah, well, I mean, we sort of spoke about this the other day in terms of if you do get a stress fracture, pretty big deal. That being said, a stress fracture in your hip is like, not that I've had one, but from experience and speaking to a couple of people who I know who have had them, you know if you've got it. You're almost not sure if your leg's broken, basically.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
the fact that you're not all the way there,
it's good.
Yeah, is good, but yes, err on the side of caution for sure. Testing and scans, etc.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, the physio, when I spoke to him, he was kind of like, look, everything you're telling me is not great, but I know how badly you want to run London. And so let's just see how you go on Sunday with your long run and then message me and let me know how you go after all this kind of therapy we're going to do. And I didn't feel any better. And he was like, I'm so sorry. I wish I could help more than what I currently can. And he was like, I think it's best you go and rule out the stress fracture if, either you have it or you don't have it. And as Matt said, like, as you just said, if I would pretty much know. My friend has had a stress fracture. She was out for ages and she was like, I couldn't walk on my leg. But when I was kind of doing my little bit of research and stuff, it kind of all the symptoms I'm having are the starting symptoms of a stress fracture. So I think if I just absolutely cool my jets completely, hopefully I can rest it a little bit and at least get to London, run London, and then deal with it later.
Yeah, and that's the other. So one of the things when you're managing athletes is sometimes giving them less information is better. And and that's what you messaged me with all this stuff, and you're like, I don't care if I've got to crawl London, I'm gonna do it.
I'm so up and down, aren't I? One day I'm like, I'm so stressed. The other day I'm like, who cares? Oh well.
It literally, and I did my stock standard response is you'll be fine.
Yeah.
And what I mean by that, as long as you do not have a stress fracture, we could not train between now and London. And you have the fitness and the conditioning and the experience to be able to do it. It's like we spoke about last week in terms of just about any day of the week, I feel confident I could roll out of bed and do an Ironman. Won't be fast, it won't be pretty, it won't be anything. but I could do it. Like, you could run a marathon any day of the week, no training, because you know how to manage it. We're on bed rest for 6 weeks, and all we have to do is, I say bed rest like as a very loose term, but no running. And you just rock up to London, put your shoes on and go. You'll be fine. You'll be sore the next day. You'll probably be sore for a couple of days, but you'll be able to do it.
Yeah.
So
and I think after
it's
Sundays,
really not an issue.
Yeah, I think after Sunday's run, doing a half marathon, and not, besides my hip hurting, that's a different story, but the fact that I pumped out a half marathon and felt completely fine after it, whereas before, if I did a half marathon, I'd be out the whole day laying on the couch like, oh, I'm so dead. Whereas this time, I felt completely normal, besides the pain in my hip, which, I mean, I'm managing with icing and stuff like that. But it did definitely make me a lot more confident in that if I do when I head to London, and when I run London Marathon, still staying positive here, it'll be fine regardless, as long as I don't have a stress fracture. Look, if I've got a stress fracture and they're like, if you run London Marathon, you're going to cook your hip, I'm not going to do it, because, I mean, I've got 4 weeks of a honeymoon to get through. But because I can walk right now, and because the pain is not horrendous, I think I'm okay. I think it's just the start of, if I keep pushing it, it will be a stress fracture.
Yeah, and the good thing is, like, we've got options like increasing calories, reducing load, different sorts of therapies. Like, there are plenty of things we can do as long as there is no fracture, to get back on top of things. So now my concern for it is like pretty minimal. I'm just like, let's just tick the boxes, make sure everything's sweet. And I'm saying this like, fuck, if you come on next week, you're like, I've got a stress fracture, I'm going to look like a fucking idiot. But
he is very chill, guys. He's been very chill about the whole thing. I've been messaging him to keep him up to date, and Matt's like, yeah, look, we'll see what happens. Let's not get ahead of ourselves. I need this in my life.
Yeah.
One step in front of the other.
Yeah, and again, the biggest thing with athletes is like, and we didn't do a very good job communicating when we spoke about this yesterday, because Georgia ended the conversation with, "Are you mad at me?"
I knew you would bring this up. I was like,
I'm not bringing it up to mock you. I'm bringing it up because like we didn't do a good job communicating.
We are better over the phone though, because we have a very similar banter, and so I was just like,
it's hard to convey tone via text.
Totally. So I had messaged Matt saying like, I don't think I can do these fast parts in the long runs. I think I just need to do the long runs just easy, just get through the long run, and it's the fast things I think is really hurting. And I was like, I'm the coach, I'll tell you what to do. And I was like, I'm sorry. Are you mad at me? Oh dear.
Yeah. But
anyway,
in classic athlete mindset, and it's really interesting for me, right? Because I catch myself doing the same things, and like I'm getting better at pulling myself out. But all you're worried about is the goal. Like it is London Marathon, and I need to do this session because this session gets me closer to London. But like I was saying, I was trying to put things in perspective for Georgia. I'm like, hey, if you keep pushing yourself and you fracture this hip, you're not running Sydney, you're not running anything for 12 months, and we are starting from ground zero. And George's response was, I will crawl London Marathon.
I was like, this is a once in a lifetime opportunity. And he's like, yes, I get it, but also just chill out.
Let's not try and not have to amputate your leg.
I know. And Nick said the same thing to me yesterday. I got home from my run and he just looked at me dead in the eyes, like really serious. And Nick is not a serious person. He was just like, you need to stop running. And I was like, no, it'll be fine. Like, I'll just do it really chill. Like, it'll be all good. Like, I gotta get through it. And he's like, Georgia, stop running. Stop. Just stop it. He's like, you're gonna make it worse. I was
100%.
Like, so I'm going to listen.
No running until we get a scan.
Yeah, until we get a scan. Look, I get a referral tomorrow, and then I'll go to, there's a place in Sydney that can do it pretty much the same day. So yay, love that for me. But yeah, that in a very long, very true me form, in that it's the longest week ever. Love to tell you all my highs and lows. We could chat about it all the time. So yeah, but I was thinking today, guys, I've had a couple of questions this week because I've started my long runs up and I'm back into using gels and things during my runs. I've had lots of questions about how do you use gels, and I know we spoke about this a little bit in our question and answer episode, but I was hoping maybe we could delve a little bit deeper into for like using gels during a run for the first time. So, as you know, those kind of books you get, it's like having gels for dummies. So I thought we could talk about that today because, we have to remember that everyone learns somewhere. And I taught myself off TikTok, but I think, if you can use our podcast as a way to...
What a wild statement. I taught myself off TikTok.
Yeah,
what a
I
time
don't
to
use
be alive.
Google anymore. I don't really use Google. I just go to TikTok. Is that?
I'm YouTube.
Yeah, see, I grew up on YouTube, but I never got into YouTube.
Well, I think it's also my brain is like, I need all the information.
Yeah.
I can't just be like, have a gel every 30 minutes and go and do it. Like my short form content doesn't,
it's not enough for you.
I just end up spending more time looking it up. So I'm just like, I'll just watch a long form bit of content.
Yeah. The only time I ever use YouTube is if I need to know how to do something. So for example, at work the other day, we got all new camera gear and lighting set up I do the photography at my work. And I was like, oh my God, I cannot set this receiver up for the flash. And I just went on YouTube, just looked it up. And my colleague was like, what are you doing? Isn't there an instruction manual? I was like, why would I read that when I can literally go to YouTube and there's a video about it?
Yeah.
So handy.
Like, I couldn't think of anything worse than sitting there reading this little fucking book. Everything's in size 4 font. And you're like, I'll just watch a video.
Yeah.
And the guy's doing it right there. I can literally do it side by side with him.
Yeah, and he's like showing you and saying, here, do this, do that. Yeah, no thanks. I'm definitely not reading a book. It was so confusing. So yeah, I did teach myself on TikTok. Yes, I did say that. But more so in that, when do you start to use gels? How do you use them? Where do you get them from? What's the best kinds of gels? So there's tons of questions. So I think maybe we start off with, when do you start introducing gels? And what is a gel and when do you start introducing it? And what is intra-run carbs? Does that make sense?
Is that a question?
Yeah. Maybe you can explain everyone loves hearing what you have to say. And I could waffle on about it, but I'm not going to be concise and to the point. So maybe kind of...
Concise is not my strong suit. I just talk.
Okay, so let's start off with what is, when people talk about gels, what's a gel?
A gel is just carbohydrates. So the reason they call it a gel is because it's a gel-like consistency.
Yeah.
And it is just just for anyone who listens to this and for future context, carbohydrates, glycogen, sugar, all the same thing, all equal energy, right?
Yeah.
A gel is... Now, we can get into the weeds in that terms of there are multiple types of carbohydrates, but that's not really important for this conversation. Maybe we'll do
That can be another episode.
We'll do a proper nutrition episode, and we might even get my sports dietitian on, and she can really nerd out with us.
I want to do that.
G.
Yeah. I'm so into that. Sorry, I'm trying to wriggle around. I have always wanted to chat to a sports dietitian, so let's definitely do that. I love that.
Yeah, but Lauren will come on for sure.
Yeah. So when you talk about carbs, obviously you just said glucose and stuff is carbs. So it's
glycogen.
Not glycogen. Sorry, I was listening. Just whatever. When you're talking about carbs and stuff, it's not like it's like condensed pasta. Everyone always thinks like you could... I watched a video the other day where the girl was like, I take a boiled potato on my runs. And I was like, what?
That's fucking wild.
And I said that. I was like, I'm sorry. I cannot imagine whipping a boiled potato out of my
Imagine how dry your mouth would be just chewing on it. You're like a horse with some cud.
Oh my God. I
hope everyone likes that in the microphone.
I know. Stop it. Please stop it. I was trying to ignore it so you'd stop. I just couldn't... The amount of trail runners that came after me when I laughed at a boiled potato. And I was like, I'm sorry. That's not normal.
Yeah, no. A boiled potato is definitely not normal.
No.
Even in the trail running community.
Yeah, okay. There you go. So that's what...
I'd say the only argument I would give to the trail runners me being a trail runner myself, is they definitely side with more
Whole
food
foods,
rather than
yeah.
gel. Yeah. Even like packs of chips and things like that are very normal in trail running rather
Yeah.
than
Oranges, all that
than
kind of stuff.
yeah, yeah,
Whereas
exactly.
if you're a road runner, you're not going to pull out a packet of chips. Like it's just not happening. You're not going to have an orange on you. Whereas at least with a
Yeah.
trail run, you can stop at one of the tables at the aid stations. They've got oranges. You're encouraged to walk.
Yeah.
Road running,
It's just a completely different,
it's
even though
different.
they're both running, it's just a different sport. Like,
It's totally different. It's
yeah,
yeah, it's so
universes
different.
apart.
Yeah. So a lot of people will use gels because, as you said, it's so hard to whip out a boiled potato. So you can whip out a little gel, and they do. They come in these little sachets. Some of them can be, I don't know, the size of a can of drink. Some of them can be smaller. Some depends. They all come in different sizes. But the whole point of them is to make it really easy to consume. So
Yeah.
I guess that's where you start. That's kind of when people talk about gels, that's what that is, right?
Yeah, and like I said, all it is just gel carbohydrates, liquid carbohydrates, however you want to define it. Some gels are thicker, some gels are thinner. There is a lot of now. This is where people get in the weeds with gels. They try one gel, hate it, and
Never go
never
back.
want to try a
Yeah.
gel again, or they try one gel, love it, and never try a different gel. The market in gels is as diverse as you could possibly imagine. There is flavored, there is unflavored, there is fluid gels, there are, I can't remember what it's called, hydro something gels, which are like really thick. There's like the goo gels, which are like
Oh my God.
custard mixed with flour. Um, Goo, you're not getting a sponsorship on this podcast. Sorry, guys. We hammer you.
Nah. Yeah. I want to love you, but I don't.
I love the concept. I love the flavors and everything, but it's not for me. Anyway, I recommend people just trying as many different gels as possible until you find two or three. It's really good to have two or three in your arsenal because number one, palate fatigue. So if you're doing a marathon and it's going to take you 4, 5, 6 hours and you're just having the same flavor over
Yeah.
and over and over again, you eventually either your mouth gets sick of it or your stomach gets sick of it, and you'll find out pretty quick which one that is.
Yeah.
However, if you're alternating, and you've practiced alternating, like we always say, nothing new on race day, but you've practiced this in your training, having multiple different flavors, different textures, consistencies, etc., is a great tool to have. Like for Ironman, I will take probably 2 different brands of gel and 2 different brands of fluids with carbohydrates in them, just so I don't get that palate fatigue. So
yeah, I usually run with 2 different types of gels on race day. Generally, one of them will be a thicker consistency and one of them will be a little bit thinner. That just helps me with whatever reason. I just like that. But yeah, so how do you know when you need to start taking gels? Well, carrying them with you, when you need to start eating, drinking, depending on the texture, obviously. When would you start introducing them into a run?
The most important thing, and we spoke about this last week in the Answer Your Questions episode, is nailing that pre-run nutrition. Because if you're not eating before your run, it changes the whole dynamic. So for this conversation, I'm going to assume people are having something pre-run.
Yeah. Yeah. I hope so.
Well, then the general rule of thumb is at 90 minutes, you've used up all your internal glycogen stores. Now, take that with a grain of salt. It's not the same for everyone. Some people are a little bit less, some people a little bit longer, some people are more fat adapted. Conversation for another day. If you're running 90 minutes plus, I'm having that first gel in the 30 to 45 minute window mark, and then realistically every half an hour after that.
Yeah. So, for example, guys, you're going out on a 2-hour long run. You know that you are going to hit past that 90 minutes. So, half an hour into that 2-hour long run, or half an hour, 45 minutes, you'd have your first gel. And then every half an hour after that, you would have another one. So, for me, if I was doing 3 hours, generally, I'd probably be having maybe 3 gels. You could have 4, couldn't you? Yeah, 2. If it was a 2-hour gel. So, 2-hour long run.
Yeah.
if it's a 2 hour long run, you could, that you'd be fit. You could fit in 4, but it's probably not necessary. You have about 2 to 3 is fine.
Yeah, I would say that the longer, and this is where it gets like, everyone get your shots ready. It's nuanced for everyone, right? And it's nuance based. It's based on the workout, based on the race, based on whatever. If you're doing it a 2 hour super cruisy, easy run, zone 2, 2 to 3 gels is plenty.
Yeah, for sure.
If you were doing 2 hours at threshold because you're getting ready for a half marathon, I'm pushing that to 4 or 5 gels. So
because you're using up more of that energy, so you need to replenish that energy with the gel.
Correct. So if we think about glycogen like a petrol tank or in a car, if you're just driving around at 10 kilometers an hour, which is like zone 2, you're not burning a lot of fuel. If you put that foot flat to the floor and the rev limiter's hitting the top and you're burning through glycogen the same way you'd burn through fuel, like you were just roasting through it, and you got to replenish that. So I would definitely say take the workout into consideration, and it's all testing. Like, you just got to practice.
That is a really great analogy. I really like that.
Thank you.
That the petrol tank, I think that's really easy to visualize. Someone like myself, you really want to visualize what is happening and why do you need certain things. Now, you don't always have to use a gel, guys. So as Matt said, we are just trying to replace that energy in your body with something. So gels are obviously created. People want to make money from them. That's so fine. They can be quite expensive. They can get anywhere from average $2 per gel all the way up to like $6, $7, $8 per gel. And if you're having 2, 3, 4 per run, it gets expensive. And I mean, cost of living, yo. So there are other ways. As Matt said, you can have, trail runners like to have chips and things like that. But if you're out on the road and you're taking your little running belt or your running vest with you, you want things that are still easy to grab, but you can't really afford at the moment to buy gels. We've both got our own personal things we like to use. But if you actually just head to the supermarket and go to the lolly aisle, turn the packet over and have a look at the breakdown of the nutritional breakdown on the back, and you'll see per serving. So for example, if we are using something like an Allen's Killer Python, per serving, which would be 1 Python, you actually get, I had a look online, there's 18.6.
18.2. Oh, 18.6, that's so close.
18.6, you're so close. Oh, shame.
Well, no, because I did this on purpose because you and I said last.
Yeah.
No, you and I said last. I said snakes. You said killer pythons.
Yeah.
But the ratio to carbohydrates per weight is better in snakes.
Oh,
That's
okay. There you go.
Nerding out, but
okay. Well, snakes, killer pythons, whatever you want to grab, have a look at the back, because as I said, there was 18.6 grams of carbohydrates per killer python with 20 milligrams of sodium. Now, for reference, on average, a gel has anywhere between around 22 to 30 grams of carbs per gel. Now, they also can have anywhere from 0 to like 100 milligrams of sodium. But if you're
to keep it simple, if you're do not rely on food for sodium. Like,
no,
I don't even I love all the numbers, and I never look at sodium content in terms of gels. I just treat it as irrelevant.
Okay, well, let's just talk about the carbs then. That's totally fine. Yeah. I totally get that. So, yeah, as I said, 1 kilo python, 18 grams of carbs, 1 gel, 22 to 30 grams of carbs. So you could have 2 kilo pythons. I mean, what's a pack of kilo pythons? $5, and you get 6 or 7 in them? I mean, that's heaps cheaper. If you average that out, you're having 2, that's cheaper. If you're doing this over, a couple of weeks, maybe if you want to start using gels though, start your easy runs off with your longer easy runs off with snakes and whatever from the supermarket. And as you get closer to race day, start practicing with your gels. So as Matt said, nothing new on race day. If you're going to be having gels on race day, start practicing that. But if you want to at the start, when you're not really super serious into your training, you can just go to the supermarket and check out the lolly aisle. Heaps cheaper.
Yeah, that's what I do. So I've only just started putting gels into Ironman prep last week.
Yeah.
Everything else has just been food. And even now, like, like say for example, my ride on the weekend, 5 hour ride, only 1 hour of that was at like Ironman intensity. So for 4 hours, I just had muesli bars because it's cheap. And then that 1 hour that I'm racing, like a quote unquote race simulation, I've got my race bottles, race fluids, race gels, like everything is race. And then cool down, I'm back to normal food, just normal electrolytes, etc. So
Yeah.
it's definitely, in terms of cost effectiveness, it's definitely better. Even you can make the argument, if you're fueling with quote unquote real food, as much as like muesli bars and killer pythons are real food, the recovery side starts picking up. Like there are recovery benefits because there's protein content and things in there. Like,
Yeah.
it's minimal, but like you can make an argument for
It's
it
a
actually being
factor.
better.
It's a factor
Yeah,
for sure. For sure. I do just want to preface though, every night, like I still run and have lollies on my run. I love a Percy Pig. Matt, you'll know what a Percy Pig is. They're like a sweet from the UK that you can get from Marks and Spencer's. It's like a supermarket over there or a big department store. And they're these little pigs and they're so good. And anytime I know someone's going to the UK, I'm like, get me some Percy Pigs because they have like 40 grams of carbs in a serving. So good. And then sometimes every now and again, Aldi do them. Anyway, I sent the internet into a tizzy about the Percy Pigs from Aldi. I sold out about 7 Aldis in my area because you can get like this bulk pack. It's like $10 and you get like 5 kilos of Percy Pigs. I still have some left from last year. But I do just want to say that, yes, I actually do use the lollies and stuff sometimes. And I know in a lot of my content, I do feature gels. They are obviously very expensive. And I don't want to say that is the only thing you can use. But I am very fortunate that I have some amazing brands that want to send me their products to use. So yeah, don't take my content as if I only ever use gels and that's all I ever recommend. I do want to say you can just have lollies as well to make it cheaper.
Yeah, I'm a big proponent of I'm only using gels when it is a race simulation or I'm doing something race related because I don't know enough about this to speak about it fully intelligently, but I understand the premise. Like, you know, people are saying like the gut can, I don't want to say think, but there is a gut-brain connection.
Yeah,
that's the one. So when you're at certain intense, the argument in the endurance space at the moment is when you reach a certain intensity, if you only give your body a certain fuel at that intensity, it learns how to assimilate. So assimilate means absorb carbohydrate. Well, in this situation, that's what it means. If you're only, let's just say, get above 150 BPM and you start taking in a certain type of gel, your body understands that at this moment, I get this fuel and I know I can process it and keep going. If you change things up and your body has to think about the type of carbohydrate, has to think about how to digest it, how to best assimilate those carbohydrates and move them around the body, it actually slows down your performance and like tries to put a bit of a handbrake on yourself. So it's a pretty interesting space at the moment in terms of that, but yeah, that's kind of where I'm at with it.
I mean, fair call. I mean, you got to do what you got to do. Yeah, look, and with the gels, there's also a lot of the brands will do gels, but they also do what's called a chew, which basically is a very expensive lolly. Some of them have...
That's exactly what it is.
Yeah. Some of them will have caffeine in them, and that's where people are like, it's so worth it. I don't understand the hype with chews. It's why I don't really love eating lollies on a run because I find it really hard to breathe and chew and run at the same time. Whereas a gel, you can kind of just like absolutely just drink it and then it's done. But you can also get chews. There's like a brand called Cliff Blocks. They're like these massive lolly jelly things. You can chew on those. But again, that's just another form of, expensive lolly. So yeah, if you want to get something a bit cheaper, head to the supermarket and just read the back of the packet. I mean, you should anyway, but yeah.
Yeah, and just a caveat, if you are going to start using lollies and things, the reason gels are so effective is liquid absorb really, really quickly. Your body has to do very, very little to break it down in terms of digestion. When we start consuming quote unquote more solid foods, like let's just use a killer python as an example, the rate that it takes your body to break it down, to pull the sugar out or the carbohydrates out and move it around the body is a lot longer. So pretty much if you're just doing that 2-hour zone 2 run that we were talking about, you want to almost start eating it. You break it up into little chunks or whatever, but 15 minutes in, you just got to start consuming calories just because it takes so much longer.
Yeah, and you've pretty much got to keep eating the entire run.
Yeah,
and
you're pretty much just eating the whole time, exactly.
Yeah, you are. You're just chewing on lollies the entire run. And that works for some people. I mean, some people absolutely swear by it and they love it, and that's fine. That is their own experience. But yeah, I just like a gel because I can just drink it. And specifically, I was going to talk about what our favorite brands are, but the one I always recommend is Pure Sport. Pure Sports Nutrition, Matt loves them too. We love Pure Sports Nutrition. They have really awesome products, but they do gels, they do chews, they do hydration. Anything else I've missed, Matt? This is not sponsored. Protein, yeah.
I am actually sponsored by Pure for my current Ironman.
Yes, but not on the podcast.
No, but not on the podcast.
And I brought it up, so it's fine. But yeah. Pure Sports Nutrition is great, especially if you're just starting out. They're really, really thin consistency. It is dead set.
It's called a fluid gel.
Yeah, dead set like drinking juice. The orange one, for reference, tastes like Macca's orange juice. So we love
Apple
that.
cinnamon, unreal.
Apple cinnamon is a little bit like if you've ever been to Europe in winter and had the, did you ever get apple ciders at the Christmas markets?
Yeah,
it's like that. So good.
Yeah.
Spiced
so
apple
good.
juice, pretty much. It's delicious.
Yeah.
But then you can also get some of their ones that have, and a lot of the gel companies do this, but some of them actually have caffeine in them. So you can get, I don't know what the milligrams of caffeine is, but it's pretty low. But I mean, they have a bit of caffeine.
It's about half a cup of coffee.
Yeah, so you can have a gel and then that gives you a bit of a boost. So I start to introduce those kind of towards the end of my runs when I'm feeling a bit low and wanting a bit of a kick. So, but yeah, there's some pretty gnarly ones out there, like 100 milligrams of caffeine and even bigger, like the Morton ones.
Yeah, Morton and Precision, they're pretty gnarly in terms of caffeine content. But this is why you just got to experiment. Like, look, we can give you all the advice in the world, and you can go and follow it exactly to a T, and it might not work for you. And you just need to refine your own process. So we like to think of this as a bit of a guideline, just like, hey, here's some general advice, and not saying this is exactly what to do, but
look, everything
for the
we
majority
say is pretty much is a guideline, and as said, like, Matt is obviously a coach and he has a lot more info in this kind of, in the sport and the endurance world. But I come along and I can tell you exactly what I use and what works for me, and that's fine. But as Matt said, just give it a go and see what works for you. Some of them...
I do find, in saying that I'm a coach, I do find if I gave general advice to every single one of my athletes, it would get them like 90% of the way there. The last little bit's just refining your own personal touch. So like the fact having a gel every 30 minutes, like that works for 99.9% of athletes. Having X amount of carbohydrates per hour works for 99.9% of athletes. It's only this last tiny bit that you've got to put the work in for yourself and refine it. So you're in good hands.
And yeah, look, there's companies where you can get taster packs of pretty much every gel out there. And that's a really good place to start because you can go out and just test a bunch of different brands. Some people like the ones that have, are made of chia seeds, and other people like the really thick goos, or, there's Morton that's quite thick. It's almost like a proper jelly. And so you've kind of got
a hydrogel or something.
Yeah, you got to like chew that. Whereas like Nick took a Morton out the other day for the first time and he's like, what the fuck? He's like, this is not a gel. I was like, wow. So there's that. Like, you've got Coda that's quite sweet. I really like Coda, but my best friend, she hates Coda. So, I mean, you've just got to go out and test them for yourself because as much as we can tell you, you might hate the flavor. So, yeah. But any other advice on fueling with gels and stuff during a run?
Yeah. I kind of touched on it before, but like making sure you are having those gels at race intensity for extended periods of time, because you can taste if we just ordered a box of gels, I'm like, I'm just going to taste this and see what it's like. Like, yep, that's really nice. I'm going to use that. For whatever reason, when you're at 160 beats per minute and you're 30 kilometers into a marathon, you're like, that apple cinnamon gel that I had from Pure was so good. Like on my Zone 2 run, I can't wait to have it. And you have a mouth... Pure, I'm sorry for using you as the example for this, but you have a mouthful of that and you're just like, I'm about to projectile vomit. Like
I've been there.
Yeah. So, and it can happen with anything. Like that's why we say nothing new on race day. Everything should be tried and tested. So,
yeah. And
like Georgia and Gold Coast Marathon with the Gatorade. She did not practice with a Gatorade. She could go down the street any day of the week to the servo, pick up a Gatorade, have no issues. But because she was in that specific situation, she got that specific reaction.
Yeah. And going back on what you were saying with trying it at intensity. So I know at the start it can be a little bit weird to have a gel. So, you know, I know yesterday I stopped and had a gel because I was just like, I'm going to spew if I try to have this, because it's been a while since I've had gels. So I started off really slow, but towards the end, when you are practicing for race day, really get used to having it on the run. You're not going to stop during a race. So have it on the run. Practice how you're going to rip the top off the gel. Where are you going to put the rubbish? What are you going to do with it? How are you going to get it down? Like, are you having it all in one go, or are you having it in little bite size or little sips?
I think that's a big one, having it in bites.
Yeah. Don't just woof a whole gel down. I've done that once before, and oh my God, my stomach hated me. It was horrible.
Yeah.
It's not good. So definitely a tip there is to, you know, rip the top off, have a little mouthful, let that settle for a second, have a little bit more, let that settle. Like, don't just, slam a gel.
Yeah, I generally try and make my gels last anywhere from 30 seconds to a minute.
Yep. Yeah. Just little bites, I guess, as, you know.
It depends on the gel. Like the Pure gels, you can just knock back. Like it's literally like fruit juice. So
it is.
But like if you have a Morton gel, which sponsor a lot of the big races, or a Precision Fuel gel, you're almost chewing on the thing. So breaking that up into little chunks is probably smart.
I haven't even looked to see what the sponsored gel is for London Marathon. I should look that up. Get some free gels.
Yeah, it might be Precision. They're a London-based or an England-based company.
Yeah, I've done that before. Grabbed like 5 gels, shoved them in my pocket.
Mate, they're so bad at this is Ironman. Like, they need to do something about this, right? So all the really, really fast people get onto the run. Obviously, get onto the run first. I'm sure this happens in marathon too. But when they hit the aid station, they just grab a handful and shove it down their tri-suit.
Oh, I don't do that. So I grab 1 or 2.
No, they grab handfuls. And then these, I say poor people, but like the people who are significantly slower, who are like really pushing the time frame.
Those poor people at the back are missing out because the greedy people at the front who don't even need that many gels because they're quicker.
Yep. Yeah. So I saw guys walking out with like 10, 15, 20 Morton gels, which is, you know, you do the math, that's like $100 worth of gels. And then poor friggin' whoever's coming in at 9 o'clock at night is just like, I'm so hungry, I need some fuel. And they're like, we've got half a bowl of broken pretzels if you'd like that.
Oh, no. I'm going to look up now, London Marathon.
Why Georgia's doing that. If anyone's wondering why, a bit of nerdy information for you all, why your stomach is potentially more fragile at intensity. Right now, you're sitting around listening to a podcast, or if you're running, you'll be experiencing what I'm about to talk about. You have a certain amount of blood in and around your stomach, and blood is pushing oxygen in and around red blood cells that's helping break down food, break down any energy you've got, and it is taking all of that glycogen, protein, fats, etc., and moving it around the body. So blood is the way things move around the body. When we start to exercise, your body goes, oh, I need to pull blood away from wherever it's not necessary and feed my muscles that are working. So the big muscles, quads, hamstrings, glutes, in and around your chest to keep your lungs moving, arms, etc. Where's the first place it pulls blood from? Your stomach. So if all of a sudden you overload your stomach with carbohydrates, your body doesn't recognize it at the same rate. It goes, oh, we've gone from having nothing in our stomach to we are full of sugar, and then it dumps blood back in to help break it down. Shit goes wrong. That's
Again,
technical term.
that's why the Gatorade screwed me up. Because I think I'd missed two gels because I felt really sick, and I was like, I can't stomach it, I can't stomach it, I can't stomach it because I didn't do enough at intensity. And then I dumped half a thing of, actually, I think it was a Powerade, a red Powerade too, like the strongest kind. Downed that. Ugh, pass out. Not good. Yuck.
Nothing new on race day, Georgia.
Oh dear.
Especially in the middle of a race.
28 Ks in, that was.
Yeah.
28 Ks.
Yeah, the middle.
The middle. That's horrible. I'm an idiot. But it's okay. We learn. Every race we learn. And
That's
I
true.
learned nothing new. I mean, we'd only really been training together a little bit at that point. So I didn't,
Oh,
I
that
listened
is-
to you. I listened to you.
I'm not happy about that comment.
What do you mean? Oh, guys, watch out.
Even though we'd only been training for a little bit, what did we practice every single week? And what did I say? What did I say every single week, Georgia? For weeks.
Nothing new on race day.
I don't care if we've been working with each other for 4 days. I'd be like, nothing new on race day.
But I think when I say that, I more just mean I didn't realize how serious that statement was in terms of I didn't realize how
Don't
much
change
something...
your socks. Don't change your shoes.
Yeah,
don't change your hat. Don't
Thank
change...
you. I get it.
Nothing.
Nothing. Like literally nothing. Keep the same kind of undies you always run in. Seriously, that's
Yep.
a big one, girls. Same undies. But I didn't realize how serious it was down to that kind of thing where I should have listened more. I did listen because I did. I still wore the same pants, used my same gels, did all that. But stupid me was like, Gatorade, oh my God, I need like hydration, thinking that was more of an electrolyte where it's not. Like,
No,
idiot.
you were tap dancing on a knife blade.
Oh.
And one wrong slip, done. Georgia loves my analogies.
I do. They bring so much fun. I love it. Actually, someone said to me the other day, do I use the electrolytes that are on course? Because I was talking about the brand Hyro and how much I love drinking that at the moment. And they were like, oh, do you use the electrolytes on course? Like, do you practice with them? And I actually did a little bit at the end of last year. I started using what was going to be on the course for Sydney. And that's Fix Nutrition, I'm pretty sure, for Sydney. It's pure for Gold Coast?
Pretty sure. Pretty sure.
Anyway, tried that. But yeah, so
The
that
Fix
is a
was
good
Gold
tip.
Coast last year, so anyway, whatever it is, it's...
Whatever it is. You can actually, you can start using the same electrolytes that they have for your race day. So just look up the race and see what they use. I mean, sucks to be me. London Marathon, the sponsor I just looked up is Lucozade, which you can't actually get here. So
Yeah, you can.
can you?
Yeah.
Where? I've never seen Lucozade.
I've seen it in at least a dozen servos.
Oh, I'm not going to the servo. I'm going to Woolworths Metro. Do you have those where you're from?
No, because I don't live in Metro. It's literally in the name.
Do you know what that is? Do you know what that is? It's like a really small Woolies.
We don't do small things out here, mate.
Right. I didn't know you could get Lucozade at the at the servo. I thought it was a
might do
UK
it at
only thing.
And they might do it at a supermarket, but I know it's at the servo just down the road. And if I've got it out here, you sure as shit
Okay.
have it in Sydney
Well, there
somewhere.
you go, guys. I eat my own words. I need to start practicing with Lucozade because that's what they have on course.
Interesting, but isn't Lucosade's fizzy though?
No, it's like a Gatorade.
Or okay, they do make a carbonated version.
Probably. A Lucozade was always a really small version of a Gatorade for us when I was in the UK. Nick used to have them for footy. But they're very strong, like very sickly sweet. So I'm a bit nervous about that. So I'll just have to take all my own stuff. I won't. Besides, I mean the hydration. But anyway.
Little hack though. So I had two girls run Gold Coast. That wasn't Georgia last year. And neither of them could stomach Fix Nutrition. They just didn't sit with them. They tried and tried and tried. Couldn't get it to work. So what you can do is there are electrolyte capsules and there are salt tablets. Hack, if you want to use salt tablets, just go to the chemist. I used to buy
much cheaper.
Yeah, like a thing of salt tablets online is like $60 at the chemist. It's like $9. It's crazy. Literally just a little Ziploc bag, put salt tablets in it, and run. When you hit the aid station, water, salt tablet, you're getting the exact same thing. It's a little less efficient, but you won't throw up, which is
Yeah. Do you
obviously
know what?
significantly better.
Yeah, that's something I might try this year for Sydney because I can't stomach the on-course electrolytes either.
What's the on course for Sydney?
I think it's Fix again.
Yeah, I'm not a sorry Fix, but I'm not a fan either.
Look, do you know what? If I make it myself, I actually really like the flavor. And when you go to the expo, love the flavor. Their flavors are actually delicious. The problem is on course, it's very hard to get the ratio of powder to water to make the right consistency and the flavor. On course, they are so sickly strong because they can't get it right. And I said that to the team last year at the Gold Coast thing. I said, just letting you guys know, and look, they probably hated me for it, but I was just like, got to sort out the consistency of the electrolyte. It's too strong on course. It's sickly. Like, it's really bad. And it actually was pretty good at Gold Coast. It wasn't too bad.
Here's I don't want to say the issue because it's volunteers, right? Yeah. It's not an issue for the volunteer. It is like they can only do what they can do with the equipment they have. But they just get given like a big esky, a shitload of powder, and they're like, tip that in there, fill it up with water, give it a mix, and fill up cups. Like, that's their job. It's not their job to know the electrolyte profile, how much goes in, to do the math and everything.
Yeah.
They are given X amount of powder for X amount of eskies, coolers, whatever. Fill it up with water, make sure cups are full. That's their job. So, you got to take on-course stuff with a bit of a grain of salt. That being said, it can also fuck you. Like, if the on-course nutrition is not dosed correctly, and pretty much that only comes in fluid form because everything else is in packets. If you do get something super, super sweet, like if you have it and you go, oh, I know that's not how it's supposed to taste, get some water as well, water it down while you're on the move, or even just have half water. Like, you just gotta...
that's what I usually do. I grab one water, one electrolyte, and then I go sip, 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 sip from each.
Yeah.
And I do the pinch thing so I can not spill it all over myself.
Mm-hmm.
That's a good tip, but I can't show you because we're on mic. Anyway, I think we've pretty much covered all bases. What do you reckon, Matt?
I mean, I don't think it was particularly concise. We just sort of spoke about gels, but
that's okay.
I think it's helpful.
I think it's helpful. I had a question actually from my sister-in-law yesterday. Shout out to Sally. She was just asking me about gels and stuff. And I thought, you know what? If one person is asking about this, I'm sure there's a lot of other people out there that want to know the same thing and don't know how to ask the question.
100%.
So if there's something we haven't covered or you're a little bit confused, as always, hit us up on Instagram. Matt might even send you a video message. Lucky you. Get a little video.
Mate, the people are loving it, honestly. The feedback I get, the feedback I get.
That, I'm not saying it's a bad thing, man. I'm saying it's a good thing. I'm saying, guys...
I normally charge for that sort of information.
Yeah, if you'd be so lucky, you might get a video message from Matt, or you might get me being like, hey, I've asked Matt and he said this. So, see how you go. It's Russian roulette. But, if you've got any questions, hit us up on Instagram at beyondthefinishline_pod. We will happily help you out. As I said, Matt will try and reply to you. And
I think what we should do is we should tee up Lauren and we should do like a we answer your questions with Lauren, because then she can give the race day. And for everyone who's wondering, Lauren's my sports dietitian. She's also an Ironman athlete, like works with all sorts of ultra trail runners, all sorts of things. We should probably do like a nutrition. We answer your questions, and we can provide our experience, and then she can give us more of the science and things behind it.
Perfect. I love that. Let's do that. We had such a good response from everyone about the Ask Matt questions. So I think that's going to be a great one.
Us questions.
Well, it was Ask Matt. I mean, there'll be an Ask Georgia. Don't you worry. It's going to come.
I'm sure there will be. I wouldn't doubt it at all.
And you can ask me questions, Matt, and I'm going to give you
Why do you give me more grey hairs? That's my question.
Question today is from Matt, and it says, "Why are you killing me slowly?"
Internally, from the inside out.
Oh, poor Matty.
Do we have any questions this week?
Oh, actually, we did. I got a couple on socials this week on I put a thing up to say if there was any questions we didn't answer that you really wanted to know, please let us know. There was only two kind of short questions, sorry. So the first one, it kind of cut out the name of the person's thing and I didn't save it properly. So I'm going to say it's from Jay. After training, stretching, where do you start and is it necessary? So like a cool down, do you need to stretch or are you doing like a dynamic cool down or can you do a stretch?
So for warming up, dynamic warm up is the king by far. Static stretching is actually on the dangerous side of things because your muscles are not ready to... If we think about a static stretch is where you are like touch your toes, for example, and you are like lengthening out your hamstrings, just so everyone can sort of understand that. Dynamic stretching would be something like A-skips or like high knees or like butt kicks, just
leg swings,
super simple. Leg swings, exactly.
It's got movement in it.
Yeah, and basically you are slowly warming your body up to undergo the task that it is about to undertake. So, i.e., high knees, running, etc. If you're doing static stretching, all you're doing is lengthening the muscle, and there is no contraction, which makes it quite supple, which makes it actually quite easy to tear. So, warming up, static stretching, no, we want to be doing dynamic stretching. Cooling down, so number one, you always should just do like a very slow jog walk to cool down. Give yourself 5, 10, 15 minutes. The longer your run, the longer your cool down. Secondly, you don't want to be doing any stretching immediately post-run just because I don't know how familiar people are with like the ice bath sort of community, but everyone thought jumping in ice baths as soon as you finish training was the best thing because you're getting rid of inflammation, and stretching essentially does a reduced version of that. Like it's trying to get rid of inflammation out of the body. However, all of these people who were jumping in ice baths immediately post-training, they actually found that they were regressing, and this is more, they did these studies in the strength space, but it's because your body needs that inflammation to actually send nutrients to that area to help it repair, to help it get stronger. So if you've got really sore legs from a run, you jump in an ice bath, you're essentially sending the message to the body, hey, like they're fine, we actually don't need to repair them, when they still do need to be repaired. So do your cool down and then just chill out for a few hours, eat some food, get your electrolytes back in. If you're running in the morning, you can static stretch at night. Like I do a bit of mobility most nights for 15, 20 minutes. There's no benefit to doing it pre and post run immediately.
There you go. I didn't know that. I didn't know that you shouldn't really do it straight after a run. I mean, I don't, because like I'm so sore. I'm just like kind of I know. He just says, I know, Georgia, I'm watching you. So yeah, I do stretch at night, so just chill out. I have another question here from Ash. She has asked, do you have any advice for running for an asthmatic? Now, Matt, have you got asthma?
Nope.
Well, then you can't talk, can you, my friend? Come along, this is my question. So, this gal over here, big asthmatic, number one asthmatic ever. No, I've had asthma my whole life. I used to use it as an excuse as to why I don't want to run. I used to be pretty bad. I used to be on what's called like a nebulizer as a baby, like little machine, hook me up, hit me with the good stuff. But now I take a steroid every day for my asthma, and I have a preventer as well as a actual inhaler. So asthma is a big part of my running. So look, I'm not going to give you any medical advice because I'm not a doctor. But for me, and I'm going to give myself as an example, I have my preventer. I take my preventer. If I'm out on a run and I'm feeling as though I need my inhaler, I have that, only because that's what my doctor has said. But the best thing you can do is actually go and see your doctor and say, hey, is it safe for me to run? Can I have my inhaler for my run? What's going to help me feel better? what do I do if I start to get a tight chest, all those sorts of things. As much as I would love to help you out with asthma, again, I'm not a doctor. So yeah, but I am very cautious of what I do, and I keep in mind different sessions do affect my asthma, specifically if I'm sick or if it's really bad hay fever. So I always make sure that if I am sick, I'm not going out and doing a really heavy session because it's going to affect my asthma and then affect my breathing. So just take it easy when it's bad and just make sure you carry your inhaler with you, I guess. But there's not really much we can do without giving medical advice. Don't you agree, Matt?
Yeah. Yeah, I would say the biggest thing is just understanding your body. Like if you've had asthma your whole life, you know when it's getting bad and when it's time to like slow down. And I would just be like, if you're in the middle of a interval and you need to slow down, like just bite the bullet and slow down. Yeah.
Just, get rid of get rid of the ego. If it means you have to walk some of your sessions so you can get your breathing under control, there's been many times that I do that. I did a post on it not long ago, a video when I was trying to do a 5K time trial. I was like, my chest really hurts. So I stopped. Like, my session went in the bin, but I mean, I don't think about it. I'm like, whatever. That's just what happened. So yeah, unfortunately, you just kind of have to bite the bullet, like Matt said, and get over it and just walk a bit if you need to.
Just listen to your body.
Yeah, listen to as Matt said, look, only you know your body and only you can really help yourself. So, but if you are concerned, just go see your doctor and get that sorted. But that's all the questions. That's it. We've answered everything. So if you've got more questions, guys, hit us up. We will add these to the end of every episode for you.
Yeah, I think it's a good way to round out the episode. Keeps the community engaged as well.
Yeah, definitely. But
maybe I should stop answering them in the. I like answering in the DMs. I was going to say I should stop answering them in the DMs and then save them, but we could always I can just remember them and send them to you.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you can answer them in a DM and then we can also answer them on the pod. So
yeah.
Don't want to, if someone's really asking a question, don't want to leave them hanging.
That's true.
But yeah, I think jump on YouTube and subscribe.
We're on the YouTube.
We're on YouTube. As much as I hate it because I'm constantly forgetting that we're filming our actual faces. So I'm like biting my lip, doing something weird.
It's a podcast. That's what people like. It's just authentic.
It's very authentic.
Your biting your lips going to be up on like a big 42-inch TV.
Someone's massive TV.
Can someone please put the podcast on their main TV and send a photo of Georgia doing something like this right now? Send a photo of Georgia right now of it just up. I will be so happy.
Please.
I will change it to the thumbnail. I will change it to the Spotify thumbnail. I will change our Instagram DM. I will change our Instagram profile pic. I'll change everything for a week.
Guys, he will. Don't do it. I tell you now, the amount of times there's a thumbnail on this program we use when you actually start the recording and it takes a shot of your face, and the amount of times I've had to quickly do it before Matt sees it because he fucking sends a photo of it to me and he's like, that's a great look for you, and I'm like, fuck, again. Oh, I have the
Georgia
worst
will try and do the
face.
same thing to me, but I don't care.
Matt's just sitting there and he just looks normal because his resting face is just a normal face, whereas mine, I look like I'm asleep or something. Oh, no. Someone's going to do that now. I can feel it. And then Matt's going to send it to me.
I'll be so happy.
Fuck.
I will... I don't know. I'll just what I said. I'll change all the profile pictures.
I'm going to have to start making myself look decent for these because I don't blend into the background.
One time only offer. Guys, if you do not do it for episode 9, it's off the table.
It's off the table. Oh, fuck.
But the good thing about...
Oh, Matt's flexing right now. He's like, this is my muscle.
I was bringing the microphone back because I was about to push it away. The good thing about this is podcast lasts forever. It's not just 1 week and it's gone. So that someone could listen to episode 9 in a year's time.
It's just
and then I'll just drop the change because I'll get that message. That'll be so exciting.
Don't worry, guys. I don't look at the YouTube, so I won't even see it.
Instagram, I'm changing Spotify, I'm changing everything. You will not be able to... I'm going to post the picture on the Instagram.
Speaking of grey hairs, I'm going to start getting some in a minute because he stressed me out.
You're welcome. Fucking bit of even it up a bit.
Oh, dear God. Silly mood. Jump on YouTube, though, and as much as I don't want to see my face on your TV, but hit subscribe. That really helps us out, as well as over on Spotify. Please like, subscribe, download, save. I don't know what else you do on Spotify.
Just do the things. Guys, you
Do
know
all
the
the
things.
things. Do you know what really helps? Send it to your friend. Send it to your friend.
Yeah, share it. Gotta
who
share
likes
it.
running. Sharing is really helpful for us, guys. So helpful. With the people who consistently every week put this on their stories. I love you so much. You're going to be listening to this because I know you are, and you do this on your long runs. I love you so much. It makes my day when you share our podcast on your stories, and I will always regram them. Love it.
Even I said to Georgia, I was like, this actually, what did I say? I said something like, this made me happy or something, or this made my day. I can't remember
it was
exactly
really
what I said.
cute. He messaged me and he was like, this message genuinely made me, I'm pretty sure he said something about it making you feel like warm and fuzzy on the inside.
No, that doesn't sound like me.
No, he did. He said it was something along the lines of basically you just felt really good. Like that is why we do what we do, and that's making it all worth it and makes it so great is that when you guys send and say how much you love the podcast. And I mean, at the end of the day,
awesome.
We're just two regular people and it really makes our day. So thank you so much.
Yeah, we just like running.
We just like running, like chatting, yapping.
Yarning.
And on that note, thanks for listening, guys. Love you so much. We'll talk to you
Hooroo.
next week. Bye.